I echo Sven's words in sharing a really warm welcome to you. I don't know if you've noticed there's lots of people walking around campus with lanyards that'll say UNSW. Well, the staff are here. You probably notice massive smiles on their faces, and that is because each and every one of you have joined us here on campus, activating the campus again after what's been a challenging couple of years. It's really brought a whole lot of energy and buzz to this amazing Kensington campus. So I echo all the warm welcomes, but the thanks for joining us here and choosing science as your kind of step into higher education. So as Deputy Dean, I have the real privilege and honour to work with all staff across science and also beyond into our partner faculties to create really engaging and industry-informed learning experiences for you, and ones that will challenge you. And that's challenge you in the way you think. We want you to think big, we want you to think global, we want you to find your passions, we want you to discover what really matters to you as a scientist and how you can go out into that wider world and create the impact you want to. We want to be a part of that journey of discovery with you, so remember that we're here to challenge you but also to support you on that journey. So our cohort in science, you're one of around 1,200 new undergraduate students joining us for T1 2023. There's about another, and I've got my numbers here, about another 230 joining us in postgrad coursework, and probably around 100 or so as high degree research students. So it's a really big cohort of students joining us here in T1. You're from 47 different countries, I'm probably not going to remember all 47 and we'll be here for a while, but Denmark, Chile, Brazil, Vietnam, Malaysia, Bangladesh, China, I could keep going, but you get the picture. You're a really, really diverse cohort. Around 20% of our students joining us in T1 are international. So you're diverse, science is diverse, as you've heard from Sven, and so is UNSW Sydney. Home to we're home to 6 different faculties, science of which is one of them, and we obviously have really strong partnerships with a number of those faculties, all of them really, because many of you are studying dual degrees. Can I get a little show of hands who's in a dual degree? Lots of hands going up. It's usually around between 35 and 40% of our students study dual programs in connection with science. We've also got 8 different schools, so again, a real breadth and depth of academic excellence across the faculty, and those schools are led by a head of school, and that will give you a sense on that slide of the, as I say, the breadth of those schools. I've also included the School of Biomedical Sciences, who's in one of our, as I said, partner faculties with medicine and health, because we've probably got loads of students from the medical science program, which we deliver in partnership. So lots of different schools, almost from A to Z. I always say we need a school of zoology so we can literally go from A to Z. It's a big campus. Has anyone started feeling a bit overwhelmed by the size? That's okay and that's normal. There are a few places where if you're ever feeling that you need to get some support, whether it's from people or places, this slide here will give you a bit of a summary. So you've got some people that are here to support you in the schools, and they're people like the directors of teaching, and in your case, the directors of first year are a great person to connect with. You've also got local school officers where you'll get support from people who are perhaps teaching the courses that you're studying in Term 1. Your conveners, your demonstrators in laboratories, tutors, everyone is here to support you. There is no question too big or too small. Always reach out and connect if you're looking for support. And then more broadly in the faculty, there are people like science student advisors, the nucleus, which you'll hear a little bit more about later, and also myself and my colleague Rebecca, who I'll introduce shortly. So these are probably some terms that you have heard before, but this is kind of the language that we speak when we're talking about our educational offerings. So the calendar, the academic calendar here at UNSW is divided into terms, so we call the terms 1, 2, 3. There's also summer as well, so we're about to go into T1. The program is what you study, and when you get to the end, you graduate, you celebrate, and you're ready to take on the world. That's the degree that you will receive upon graduation. There is the calendar laid out across the year. So as you can see, we're about to go into that first term. Then there is a short exam period, breaks before we jump back into term 2 and term 3. Remember to personalise what your experience looks like across not just your first year but also beyond. Your program will have a set of expectations that you do have to complete, different courses that are required, but then there's an opportunity for you to really personalise that. Study abroad, work integrated learning. Sven has already mentioned getting out and working with industry is something that we are really, really promoting and supporting you on doing. But that personalisation is something that will really pay dividends upon graduation. A few other terms, I've mentioned programs. Well, they are composed of those courses. They're kind of the building blocks of your program. And each course carries with it, I will call it a value, a unit of value, and they're units of credit. And as you accumulate and collect those across your program, they will end up totaling the required that is needed to graduate. So always take a moment just to make sure that you are progressing along, and remember, any questions, you can always head to the nucleus. There's a Bible in our world and it's called the Handbook. The Handbook is the place where you can find out anything about your program, the courses you have to study, but also discovering some of those elective courses where you get the choice to personalise your program. So I really encourage you to jump online, have a look at the Handbook when the time is right. There might be some courses that you really do need to complete in first year to really kickstart your journey onto level 2 and 3 and beyond. But I encourage you to just take a look and see what's on offer. Science offers, I think it's around 550 different undergraduate courses, and that means there's a lot of choice, and you might think, oh my gosh, how do I make that choice? Remember, there's always help in trying to find that particular course that is really suited to your passions and what you're trying to achieve. And then, I've gone back. Another resource which is particularly useful is also My UNSW, which is kind of your one-stop shop for everything related to academic admin. That's more of a self-help and self-guided approach. So you can change various elements of your academic studies on there, and that's obviously available 24/7. I also encourage you to stay connected with us. There will be emails that come through either from your conveners of your courses, but also more broadly around different initiatives and opportunities that are available for you as students to undertake. So your UNSW address, you'll, I'm sure, have already received that and activated that, but do stay connected with that email. We often send out really exciting opportunities, whether it is about study abroad, different case competitions or extracurricular initiatives that you might want to look at. And lastly, some important final dates. As you're starting in those first few weeks, you might find yourself having enrolled in a course that you'd either like to maybe pause on completing, and you'd like to attempt that in a subsequent term. There are some dates by which you have to have added courses for T1, but also a time point when you can drop them. So Sunday the 19th is your last chance to add a new course, and then the 26th of February is the last chance to drop without penalty, as we call it, the try before you buy. It's what we call census date. So just take a note of those if you are needing to make any changes to your Term 1 courses of study. So I mentioned the nucleus. I encourage you. The team there are absolutely fantastic. You're going to get to meet somebody from the nucleus a little later. Honestly, it's the one place you can go where any question that you need answered about your program or courses can be answered. It's really centrally located here as well, just not too far from the library. And it's not just about academic advice, it's everything around your ID cards, your fees, special consideration, everything. So consider that your one-stop shop is the nucleus.